Hey guys, so to start right off, I am applying a foundation that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, just to the points on my face that I need to really bring out. I was looking at a picture of a drawing of a man instead of just like a realistic photo of a human, because I found that the drawing had a lot more detail than any other picture that I saw. So that was the easiest to use, and I figured I could do the best looking at a drawing. So in addition to highlighting, I'm also taking a foundation that's a little bit darker than my skin and just darkening up the areas that were shaded in the drawing. I'm also covering the edges of my lips a little bit because I do have very feminine lips. And I'll go back and define them later, but just for now I had to just block them out. And now I'm going in with a really dark shade on a really small brush so I could be really precise. And I'm just shading the areas that were shaded on the man's face. So like a sharp jawline is a very masculine and tough look. So I did that. I'm contouring my face in a way that I would never do normally. I went right over my cheekbones with that dark shade, which, you know, you don't really do as a girl when you're contouring your face. Yeah, so this is pretty different, but I think it works. And of course, as always, you have to blend in what you put down. And I know it looks kind of weird that I put some of that under my eyes, but you'll see why I did that later. Because I go in and create sort of a more defined eye look, so you'll see that in a second. Also, I just want to let you guys know that I'm very aware that the contour shade I'm using looks really orange, but I think it actually kind of helps the look tie together. I mean, it didn't really show up this orange in photos, or it didn't really look that orange in real life, but I mean, I think it works, so. Now I'm just covering my eyes with an eye primer because I am going to be using an eyeshadow later. And now I'm going in with a really light concealer and just highlighting very specific areas. So you can see I'm not taking that highlight shade on my real cheekbone. I'm actually just highlighting towards the center because that is where most men have their face highlighted. I mean, they don't highlight their face. You know what I mean. Okay. Also, I know it looks like I have a stripe on my forehead, but don't worry, it will come together. Just bear with me for now. It will get better. Okay. So now I'm blending everything together with a damp sponge just to make sure it looks like it's my skin, because, you know, you gotta do that. Then I'm just going in and detailing areas. I actually go back in and make an Adam's apple later in the video, but I just wanted to get a base down for that. So yeah, I'm just sponging my face, going back with the brush and detailing anywhere that needs to be a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. It's a work in progress. Just back and forth and back and forth. So now I'm taking an ashy gray-brown eyeshadow all over my eyelid and up to the brow bone. And that is because men don't have a lot of space between their eyebrow and their eyelid because their eyebrows are so bushy. Mine are basically tweezed and like really feminine. So I have a brow bone, but men usually don't have much of a brow bone. Anyway, okay. So I'm also taking that eyeshadow from the front of my eyebrow down to the nose contour because that's going to give me a darker look and it's going to make me look tougher. I'm also using that to detail under the lip and just places like that. It'll make me look tougher. Anyway, so now I'm filling in my eyebrow. And I'm not filling in the arch, I'm making my eyebrows straighter. Because what makes an eyebrow feminine is that it has that gap, which is the arch. So now I'm filling it in with a dip brow instead of a pencil. And I'm going over it and making it a little bit darker. I'm basically making myself look tougher. And I'm giving myself boy eyebrows. And now I'm going and defining the bags under my eyes. I'm using a dark shade a little bit lower than my lash line. And then I'm going to go back and highlight my lash line to make it really puff out, because actually a lot of boys have that look to their eyes. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm just going in with a NYX Wonder Pencil to highlight that area, and then I'm just going to pat it in to blend it out. And now I'm going in and darkening my lips with that eyeshadow, because boys don't wear lipstick or lip gloss, or at least most boys don't. And I'm making my lips appear smaller, and I'm not defining the Cupid's bow because boys don't have that part of their lips defined. And now I'm just going over with powder in the areas of contour with like a contour powder, the areas with a highlight powder, just stuff like that. I'm not using any shimmery powders, I'm keeping everything matte. And now we move on to the facial hair, which I had absolutely no idea how to do. I started off with this creamy eyeliner, and I realized that it did not look how I wanted it to look at all. So then I go in and try to smudge it out, and I use an eyeshadow brush to sort of blend it away and fade it out. And then I went in with this really cheap e.l.f. liquid liner, which is a really bad liquid eyeliner, but it's actually really good for making fake facial hair. So yeah, so I'm doing little strokes to try to give the appearance of like a shadow to my face. I don't even know. Facial hair was so hard. I have absolutely no idea how to do it. Still kind of don't. I kind of had to guess and just hope for the best. I think it came out alright. I know how to do fake facial hair without makeup, but with makeup it's kind of tricky because, you know, it's really hard to get that three-dimensional effect with products like this. So I will come back to the facial hair later, but right now I'm creating scowl marks, I guess you could call them. Basically, I'm just creating like a really angry face at myself in the mirror, and I'm defining the lines that form naturally on my forehead. So I go in with like powders and creams, and then I blend it out, and then I go back in with the powders, and then I blend it out. At first I didn't like how it looked, so I concealed it a little bit, and then I went back with more powder because I just needed to like redo it. So yeah, I'm just going back and forth. It took a long time to make it look natural, but I think it came out okay. Going back and defining the lips again, it's all a work in process. You know, you see what you do, and then maybe you need to alter something, like, you know, I'm going back to my eyes, defining those bags again. So yeah, it's basically like one step at a time, focusing on the details. Like those lines on my forehead are a small detail, but I think at the end you'll see that it really pulls the look together. So going back to the facial hair, I'm giving myself sideburns because I realized that that is what I was missing. I'm using the dip brow pomade I used to fill in my eyebrows, and I'm doing like, I guess, a mix of short and long strokes downwards because I guess that's how the hair grows. I really don't know. I don't know how facial hair works, or sideburns. Anyway, so yeah, I just had to kind of guess, and later I go over it with that same liquid liner that I used on my beard. And I'm also defining that Adam's apple that I left alone earlier in the video. I'm using that same dip brow pomade, and then I also go over it with the same eyeshadow that I used on my eyes. And like with everything else, you know, I just go back and forth, adding product, blending it out, adding product, and blending it out. So the last step is to add a hat, tie your hair back, and I think I look like a boy. There it is. Here's a close-up of the beard that was kind of good, kind of weird, but I'm really happy with how the eyes came out. I do want to mention that this was my first attempt at making myself into a boy, so let me know what you think, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!